Well. It turns out when about 20,000 veterans stand up and tell the VA bureaucracy to shove it up their asses, they might actually listen. Welcome back to Veterans Perspectives. I'm Jeff. If you saw in my last video last week, you know that I was fired up about the VA's secret, quote-unquote, rule change, that interim rule under RIN 2900-AS49 that tried to force examiners to rate your disabilities based on your most medicated state. Not the base disability, but on your medicated state. I called it a stupid law. I called it mid-2010s bullshit. And today, I have a massive update for you, okay? As of this morning, Friday, February 27th, 2026, the VA has formally rescinded this rule. It is officially dead, sorta. So before we start popping the champagne or your Monster Energy drinks that some of you guys drink, we need to talk about why this victory is good, but also a little bit hollow, and why this is not the end of the fight, okay? Why the fight for our ratings is far from over, okay? The victory. So the power of the people. First, the good news, okay? The VA didn't just pause this like they were going to, okay? They fully rescinded this. That is the biggest victory, okay? They fully rescinded it. They filed a document in the Federal Register, okay, specifically stating that they are restoring the old language of 38 CFR 4.10. Why did they do this? Because of you. Because of our public comments and our backlash and all the VSOs that went public and said, what the fuck are you doing? It's because of us, okay? They didn't do this on their own accord. Trust me, they didn't do this of their own accord. They did this because of us, okay? In the official filing, the VA admitted that stakeholders, that's us, okay, expressed so much uncertainty and backlash that leaving the rule in place would undermine confidence in the benefits system. Now, we already have lack of confidence in the benefits system, but this made it worse, and we said something en masse. There is power in our voice. Now, I know some of you don't want to hear this, but we are a special interest group. Veterans are one of the biggest special interest groups out there. There is power in our collective voice, and this proves it, okay? In just 10 days, nearly 20,000 comments flooded the docket, including one from me. That is an absolute landslide. Public comments like that on those types of documents usually do not happen, especially when the public comments are set up after the fact. Normally, like under normal circumstances, they take public comments before they put a new rule in place. But the VA played their little fucking games and said, no, we're going to make the rule and then we'll open public comments. And we said, bet. Watch this. Okay? So 20,000 comments is a big deal. Okay? You guys emailed your Congress people. You shared the videos, not mine, not just mine, but all the videos from all the veterans out there, Salty Marine, Veteran Info Tap, and more. Those are two of my favorites. And more. Okay. And you made it clear that we aren't going to be penalized for taking the medication that they prescribed to us. We aren't going to be rated based off of our medicated state, where they are not taking into account the backlash that the medication has on us, right? because the last time I checked, medicine has side effects, which they did not mention in this at all. Okay? So if you have a claim pending right now, or if you were worried about a future exam poking the bear, which is always a concern to us veterans, that specific medication trap has been dismantled, at least in words. Okay? For today, the unmedicated baseline is back. Now, here's a reality check for you. This is not enough. This is not enough. Now, here's the part where I have to be the bearer of reality. This rule might be gone, okay? But this has not changed the attitude of the VA. The VA clearly had this attitude by making this rule. They want to rate you in your medicated state. That's why they made the rule to begin with. So their attitude, their thoughts, their feelings, their rating practices may change without documentation. We have to stay vigilant. If you look at the fine print of the rescinded document, the VA is still claiming that the court case in Ingram v. Collins, yes, I will cite court cases to you, Ingram v. Collins, the case that protected our unmedicated ratings, they are still claiming that it got the law wrong. The VA is actually appealing that court decision. Imagine the VA telling veterans, hey, we're going to rescind this law, but we're also going to go appeal the court case that protects your right to be rated in an unmedicated state, so we could just change it again in the future. So think about that. The highest court for veterans, okay, the Veteran Court of Appeals, told the VA you can't use meds to lowball ratings. The VA tried to rewrite law to bypass the court. We stopped that from happening. But the VA is still fighting the court in the background via appeals. This is exactly what I meant in my last video when I said that they operate in the shadows. The VA is a bureaucracy that works against veterans. Now, I'm not talking about the doctors, the nurses, the frontline workers, okay? Those are the good people in the VA, mostly, okay? They are there to take care of veterans, mostly, okay? I'm sure, it's like myself, a lot of us have had bad experiences, but I've also had very good experiences, okay? Most of them are great people, okay? I'm talking about the bureaucracy of the VA. They're not tasked with taking care of us. We know that. We know that, and this proves it. This is verifiable proof. Hey, Washington Post, where the fuck are you on this? Because to me, this is fraud. This is fraud by the VA saying, hey, we're going to rate you unlike any other system in short-term and long-term disability in your medicated state. No disability rating type system that pays you rates you in a medicated state. It does not exist to my knowledge. Does it exist? But hey, Washington Post, only the veteran commits fraud, not the government, right? Fucking assholes. Hey, Lieutenant Colonel Gade, where are you, buddy? Where are you? I haven't heard from you in a minute. You buddy fucker. It's amazing how silent these fucks go when it's the government committing the fraud. Because this, to me, is fraud. They aren't saying, we agree with you, veterans. They are saying, fine, we'll take the rule down for now, so you stop yelling at us, but we're still going to try to win in court so we can go back to what we want. It's like It's like a teacher, right? You know, I'm going to use this analogy because I am a teacher. It's like a teacher who wrote a bad test question. Okay. And 90% of students got that test question wrong. And they tell their students, hey, I'm not going to count that for anyone. Okay. But then they don't rewrite the test question. They make no fundamental change to ensure that the bad thing doesn't happen again. They keep the same behavior. They don't change their practice to improve. Okay? That's what the VA is doing to us right now. Okay? So what does this mean for your claim? What does this mean for you today, tomorrow? You know, like if you're filing a new claim, if you're working on a current claim, whatever. Pending claims. If you have a claim in the works, it should now be processed under the pre-February 17th standards, the no medication penalty. CMP exams, be vigilant. If an examiner tells you, well, you look fine today because of the pills, you are straight up, you tell them, that doesn't matter. RIN 2900-AS49 was rescinded on February 27th. The standard is back to your true functional impairment, your non-medicated impairment state. And I always recommend recording your CMP exams, whether you do them virtually. That's how I do. That's how I've done mine in the past. Or if you're in person, and tell them you're recording. Straight up. Stay vigilant. Poking the bear. This is always a concern for veterans if you're filing for an increase. Okay? The immediate danger has lessened, but we have to stay vigilant. The VA still views the Ingram decision as an administrative burden. They're trying to save money. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to pay the ratings. In fact, they want to actively not pay the ratings. We want a battle, but we're still fighting the war. Imagine that we have to do this with the VA, Veterans Affairs, the entity that is supposed to protect us the most. And I say that a lot because I mean it. Again, we want a battle, but the war for the Ingram precedents is still happening in the Court of Appeals. Continue to write your Congress people. Continue to do it. Call to action. This victory proves that our voices do matter. They were forced to listen to us. Okay? But it also proves why we need permanent changes, not just temporary retreats from the bureaucracy. Okay, again, this is why I am still pushing for that 28th Amendment petition on change.org. The link will be down in the description to make changes to Congress in general. Okay, we need to fix the leadership in this country so we don't have to spend every other week fighting off some bullshit interim rule that's cooked up in some fucking ivory tower. Link is in the description. If you agree with it, sign it and share it. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. You don't have to agree with everything I say. Thank you to everyone who commented on the Federal Register or even who shared it. You're the reason this rule is dead today. Okay, we must remain vigilant. We must take care of each other. Veterans and those that support us must take care of each other. If we don't take care of each other, no one else is going to do it for us. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. I'm Jeff. This is Veterans Perspectives, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.